Sometimes the most interesting design lessons come from the most specific, kind of unexpected places. Today, we're going to dig into a gardener's personal notes to unpack a really fascinating take on a super popular plant. So let's find out why one gardener is giving this flower a hard pass. So, it all starts with this one simple question a gardener is asking themselves. Should I even bother with tropical milkweed? And for you plant nerds out there, that's Asclepias curassavica. It's a dilemma a lot of us have faced, right? You see this plant everywhere, it's popular, but you have to wonder, is it actually right for my garden? And get this, the answer comes back, bam, right away. It's just nope, a flat-out no. And what's so wild is that this isn't a story about trying it and having it fail. This is a decision made before even planting it, which of course just makes you wonder, okay, why? All right, so before we get into all the reasons for the no, we gotta understand the yes. I mean, what's the appeal here? Why do people love this plant so much in the first place? Well, it all comes down to what you see when you lean in and get really close. Okay, look, up close, this flower is a stunner. You just can't deny it. The gardener even says so. You've got these super vibrant clusters of flowers, and they have this amazing two-tone thing going on. You've got the red petals on the outside, and then this bright orange crown right in the middle. It's like a little jewel, isn't it? But, and this is a big but, here's where the perspective totally shifts. Because this isn't just about that one pretty flower. It's about the entire plant, the whole package. And the gardener's big problem with it is, well, it's a classic case of the parts being way better than the whole. Let's break down what that actually means. And this comparison here just nails the whole conflict. On the one hand, you've got that gorgeous up-close detail we were just talking about. But then you take a step back, you look at the big picture on the other side, and what do you see? Well, according to this gardener, you just see a kind of skinny, single stem shooting straight up with these long, narrow leaves. That stunning flower, it just gets lost. It has no oomph from a distance. So here's the bottom line. If you really want this plant to make an impact, you can't just plant one of them. The gardener argues you'd have to plant a whole sea of them to get any kind of visual punch. And for a garden that's supposed to pop, that's supposed to really make a statement, well, that's a whole lot of work for not a lot of reward. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is just one person's opinion about one plant, what's the big deal? But what's so interesting is that this isn't just a one-off thing. It's actually a peek into a much larger, consistent way of thinking. A whole design philosophy, really. Right, so this is where we pull the camera back a bit. This whole critique of tropical milkweed, it isn't really about the milkweed at all. It's more like a perfect example, a case study, of a broader principle this gardener applies to lots of other plants too. And here's the proof in the pudding. The gardener explicitly points to another plant, the Mexican Petunia, and says they're hesitant to use it for the exact same reason. You see the pattern here? It reveals this really clear standard they have. For a plant to make the cut, it needs a strong overall form, a good shape. It can't just have a pretty little flower on top. So what's the big takeaway from all this? What are we supposed to learn? Well, it turns out that buried inside this personal gardening note is a really powerful, universal lesson in design that applies way beyond the garden. When you boil it all down, this is what it's about. It's learning to see the difference between a beautiful detail and a design that has true visual impact. They are not the same thing. And just because you have one, that doesn't automatically mean you get the other. It's a pretty sharp insight. And that's what I want to leave you with. Think about it. Whether you're arranging furniture, designing a website, or, even planting a garden. When have you seen a really stunning, beautiful little detail that just gets completely lost? A detail that fails because it just doesn't serve the bigger picture? It's something worth thinking about.